Hello, everyone. Sarah Barker with the Connect Our Elders Empowering Aging podcast. I really appreciate you being with us today. And I have a special guest, Chloe Loop. She's with Home Instead. And I have personally enjoyed working with her since April and seeing the growth. And I'm so excited for her to share her story with you about the differentiators of the agency she works for and why she is choosing to be in the senior care industry. Thank you for being with me, Chloe.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Okay.
So let's just jump into it.
Mhm.
Please share with the audience how you entered the senior care industry, what you started doing, and what you're doing now. But more importantly, what the audience loves to hear is why. Why are you developing this passion to serve seniors?
Yeah, no problem. So I started working with Home Instead um, in March and of this year, actually. And it's funny, I started off as a scheduler working remotely for this lovely couple in California,
Mhm.
Jim and Candace. I started working for their team and I got to learn all the ins and outs of an agency that is like a full service agency. Which is a little bit different from what I do now, right?
Mhm.
But I got to learn everything about caregivers, about scheduling, just about how this all works, spending a lot of time talking with clients and caregivers both. So
Mhm.
that kind of helped me understand the mission of Home Instead and the types of people that we work with. And I was so grateful for that experience. And then in June, I started working, I switched roles into more of like a business development role, slash marketing, slash sales. And I started working for an owner in Chicago, who also happens to be mom. Her name is Karen. And the reason why I was open to working in this field. And the reason of why I do love working in this field is because I have a personal connection to caring for seniors. And I have since I was young. So basically, since I was young, I live in an amazing neighborhood in Chicago. I'm so grateful to be from this neighborhood called Old Town. And in Old Town, it's kind of like a little suburb and it's a big family. So from the time I was young, I grew up with all of the same kids. My mom was taking me to go visit Sue and Carolyn and all of kind of like the elders of our community. And so from a young age, I was this feeling and this sense of like respect for your elders was instilled in me. And I really did enjoy going over there, not just for like the free candy, um, but because I started to really develop this understanding of how valuable it is to learn from people who are older than you. And another thing about my personal connection to this work is I helped care for my grandma when she was at her end of life. And that helped open my perspective and my mind to a whole new understanding of the empathy of those that are aging and towards life, and the different challenges that they face. Um, it really just helped me have newfound empathy for those who lose the ability that they once had. And in this case, it was my grandma. So I had gone from seeing her, um, have such dynamic movement on a daily basis. Like she's gardening, she's, bending and reaching. And she was just so active her entire life, super healthy. Even though she developed diabetes in her, I think it was her 50s, she developed diabetes, but she didn't let that stop her. She still kept going. So yeah, from seeing her move and be ambulatory to seeing her really need the help of a walker and then eventually just be bedbound really helped strengthen that personal connection and empathy to aging.
It's a beautiful story, Chloe. And what I'm gathering from what you're sharing is that not only do you have the experience of having been a scheduler and now on the business development sales side, which is really elder care advisory work, advising these families and referral sources, right, on how to navigate what the options are, right? But you also have a personal experience of being a family caregiver, right? So you have a wide spectrum of experience already in this industry. So
Not
how
as much as I do have to give the credit to the family caregivers that have been doing it for, over a decade. Just I took care of my grandma towards the very end of her life, but even just spending that little time that I did, seeing how quickly she was declining, it really helped me have a better understanding of what are the needs at this stage of life.
the needs, and I would say that it allows you to connect emotionally, right, when you are talking to the well spouse or the adult children about their situations, right, and the struggle.
Yeah.
How do you feel your experience as a scheduler plays into your role now as a business developer, senior care advisor, right? Being able to see the backside of things and how it all works together.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Within a business, you have your internal customers, and then you have your external customers or clients. In my case, when I was a scheduler, my internal customers were both the clients as well as the caregivers. And so I gained an understanding of just what everyone's role is within this business, in this structure, and just how crucial it was to make sure that our caregivers felt advocated for, taken care of, represented in the same way that we want to deliver the highest standard of care to our clients. So it was really great to learn that, develop that, and then understand, how do I explain this in like a sellable or marketable fashion now that I'm doing more business development and going out to our true B2B referral providers. Having that experience really did help me be able to really feel what I was saying and what I was explaining to them about home instead and the care we provide.
Well, because it's so interconnected, right? You
Mhm.
have to, and I love how you said that, which is your internal customers, right? Making sure that you're caring for the care professionals, because you have to, when you present an opportunity to them, you are presenting it to them like, hey, I would like for you to take this case. And so it is in a lot of ways selling, right, an opportunity to them, just like how when we're developing relationships with referral partners on why they should use us, and the same
Yes.
with families.
Yes. I mean, with this business, we need to. It's interesting. I was at a talk the other day. This the topic was adult children being the patient caregiver. And a great analogy was used. It was the analogy of the oxygen mask. You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others and take care of others in the right way. And so, in this sense, we do need to make sure that our caregivers feel advocated for. They have a safe environment. They are going to. They are empowered within all the knowledge that they need from the care plans to be able to properly care for the clients. So it all is taken into account, and no detail like that is spared when it comes to figuring out the right match for
Mhm.
both the client and the caregiver.
So there are many agencies, right, across the United States, and what would you share with the audience about the key differentiators of homestead? So let's say that there's a family and they've been given a list of options to choose from. What is something that in your experience so far sticks out about homestead, and why a family should strongly consider choosing homestead when they're presented with multiple agencies to choose from?
No, of course. I mean, there are so many agencies nowadays. It's a huge pie, and we're just taking a piece of it. But Home Instead is in not just the United States, but it is, as an international brand, it is the leading non-medical home care company. And I understand why. I mean, it is a widely recognized brand. The slogan, being able to be such a big company and well-recognized company, but still really ring true to the slogan, which is, to us, it's personal. I mean, that's a really delicate dance to do and balance to do. But I think that Home Instead has done it really well. I mean, they have the highest standards for quality of care. Are the amount of interviews and background checks that, you know, we go through to vet our caregivers, to make sure that, you know, the people that we're sending to our clients' homes are as if we were sending someone to our own family members. That's how we operate. And it's because we really do care. So and, you know, even aside from that, like with anyone that I've worked with from Home Instead, we all have some sort of personal connection to this work. And I think that that is so important because, you know, when it comes to working with people, especially working with, sometimes, you know, you could consider them a more vulnerable population of people, it really does take so much more care, you know, and so I think that having that personal connection is almost like a requirement, or a prerequisite to really be able to succeed in this work, because there is
Right.
so much personal and emotional ties to it every single day.
It's not a transactional business. And so the way I translate what you're saying is that you guys are able to take this emotional intelligence approach to this. Could you explain for the audience kind of the process, right? So you're out building relationships with referral partners so that way basically they identify families that have a need, right? There's the care recipient, but let's not be mistaken, non-medical home care wraps around the family and the care recipient. So
Right.
you're out there building relationships. Now if they send somebody to you guys, your Home Instead location, what happens once the family reaches out to you, or you reach out to the family? What's the process?
Yeah, I mean, so we work with all different types of referral providers. I guess I'll answer that part first. I mean, it really within the healthcare industry, like I'm learning something new every day, or a new role, or a new acronym or certification that someone has. It's really remarkable, actually. So, you know, whether we're working with social workers and case managers, medical professionals, nurses, doctors, physical therapists. You know, it's interesting, even death doulas. I have a few death doulas in my network, and it really does. It's a sign of how this industry is evolving as well, that we're taking kind of a more spiritual approach and holistic approach to entering this stage of life. Um, uh, Aging life care professionals, anyone that works at a CCRC, such as, you know, director of nursing, social services director. All of these contacts are there. They have some sort of stake in the care of this one client. So with one client, I mean, there is a whole team of people, including the family as well. So that, you know, I take into consideration what is their role, and how can I leverage the information that I need to know in order to make this a successful experience for the client. So when someone refers a client to us, let's say, for example, it's a discharge planner at a rehab, and the client is being discharged and needs to go home, but we know that they need care, even if it is for the short term, helping them with their activities of daily living. We love to just reach out to the client directly, but sometimes they'll give the client information, and then now starts the client experience. So the first step is, we determine, you know, where we're going to meet them for their first assessment, which is free. So our director of client experience goes out, and what's a little bit different about our Home Instead, some Home Insteads are like this, some are not, because they're all independently owned franchises. But in our case, the one that I work for is part of the Honor Care platform. And so we're leveraging data and machine learning in order to optimize the client experience. So starting from the first interview, the first assessment, we ask a slew of questions, and all of that data will then be taken into consideration when we make our Care Pro match. So whether we're visiting them at the rehab, before they're discharged, or in their home, we'll talk about in home, we're assessing, okay, what are the potential fall risks? We're looking at every single room of the home and seeing how our Care Pro is going to work around and help the client with their activities of daily living. And once we determine exactly what they need, information so that our schedulers can help find the Care Pro match, the best skilled Care Pro for the particular assignment. And then once the Care Pro is assigned, we continue to use that technology platform to keep up with feedback and communication. So communication this is so key, especially because there are so many players involved. So we like to follow up with the people that referred the client to us, let them know how they're doing, make sure that they're doing okay and they're improving. And this is all with the shared goal of this individual being able to age in place. That's the most important thing. And I love that no matter who I'm working with, whether it's a financial planner or a doctor or whoever it is, we're all working towards that shared goal.
100%. So, Chloe, I respect so much how you just described that process, right? Because I feel like families would be more open to being proactive about learning about their resources if they had an understanding about what the process looks like. It helps to kind of take away some of the fear of the unknown. And so I think that it's so beneficial that you just described it the way that you did. We have a comment here. So we do. My friend Mike Nally. So he said there are many options for home care. How would a home instead office bring better support and services to clients?
I just know that our quality and our standards of quality are so high. And I think that is in part because we are such a big brand that over the years, my mom has owned her franchise for 10 years. And even before that, she bought it from someone who owned it for 10 years prior. So even just her franchise alone, it's been around long enough that kinks have been worked out and standard operating procedures have been established so that we have learned over time. And the Home Instead brand has been around for so long. It's just with the amount of time that they've existed, they've just learned through the years. Knowledge is power, and we have a lot of support being part of a well-known brand. Even being a franchise, we still do have a lot of support, and we have to maintain certain qualities of standards. So it's a little different from being with a smaller, kind of mom and pop agency. I'm not saying that the standards are lower or anything, but I just know that aside from the obligation we have to our clients, we also have that to our brand as well.
Yes. And I would add to that because I not only have been working with you and your mom, but other locations. I know we'll talk specifically about you and your mom, Karen Stephenson, is this concierge approach that you are not just looking at the needs of the client in a silo, which is, okay, yes, what you guys do is non-medical home care services, but you're taking the approach, the consultative approach, and the time, right? Because I do see sometimes in that assessment, it's rushed through and things are missed. But you guys are looking at it like what other resources are needed, right? That we can wrap around this family. And what that means is you don't have to do those things. It's because you know your referral partner so well that you have trusted, vetted resources that live on another area of the continuum of care that you can bring into the situation to wrap around the family and the care recipient. And I do think that whether it's a franchise agency or an independently owned agency, I find that when it comes to that approach in working with families, it's really based on the culture, right? That comes from the top down. And I know your mom takes the delivery and the concierge level to heart and so seriously.
Yeah, in part because I mean she has high standards, personally speaking.
Yes.
She has very high standards for herself, just as an individual, and I think, I really admire that about her. I mean, she's always been very successful at whatever she did. So it starts from within, and wanting to deliver the highest quality of care that you can. um you know even right now, like my grandpa, we have a caregiver for him where he is in Louisville, but even that, we treat every single case as if we were staffing for our own family.
Mhm.
And so even more so now than ever, we're experiencing that within our own family. So
Mhm.
all that does is help reinforce the standards which we uphold.
The
Um,
importance of it because you're going through it with your own family, right? So
Correct.
it kind of reiterates in your psyche, okay, we
It,
know what we're feeling in the experience. We need to make sure that we're treating these other families that we are responsible for serving in the same manner, right?
No, yeah, that's so
Uh-huh.
correct. And so, with our referral providers, we go out and we visit them, and we maintain this relationship with them. And the thing that I look at when I go out and I meet my referral providers for the first time, I'm not just in establishing. I'm not just establishing a relationship with them, but I'm also, for example, let's say we're talking about a short-term or long-term care facility. I'm going there to see what is that facility like. Would I recommend this to my own family members? So then
Mhm.
would I recommend this to my clients so that we can keep the cycle of giving, the cycle of referring
Mhm.
going within, and maintaining that high quality as we do so.
And it's a professional approach because if you look at the legal financial community, which legal financial referral partners are great for our industry, but the way
Yeah.
they operate, they're not just blindly referring to another resource. It's like they have developed a trust that if they refer one of their clients, right, it's a vetted resource and they know that the person, their client, will be taken care of. And so I like how you guys operate that way. Let's shift gears a bit. So I have been so impressed with your professionalism of how you operate, right? Because we've been working together on a weekly basis, but
We have since I
the
started in this role.
yeah, the
Yeah.
way that you show up for your referral partners, your method of reaching out and educating and following up is on a whole new level of professionalism in this industry. So, well, let's just share it. Like one of the things that you did was writing this very
Oh,
poignant, eloquent letter, handwritten letter that you used to reach out to some of the referral partners for the first time.
yeah, it's funny. I kind of just had to. This is a whole new career for me. I mean, of course, I'm pulling from skills that I've learned up to this point in my life, but this particular, this particular cycle of things that I have to do in this new role, it's all very new to me. So I had no choice but to just dive in. And I'm learning as I go, taking the things that I know are successful to me. For example, handwriting letters or handwritten notes. Like, we don't really receive them anymore or even give them, and that's to nobody's fault other than technology has just taken over and made things so much more efficient. It takes time to sit down and write a letter and to think about it, whereas we're texting on our phone, we can delete and rewrite and all of this. But I like to sit down and just kind of write from the top of my head and just write what comes to me. I find that that works best. And then, to get real time feedback is even better. So, for example, I wrote this letter. I'm like, let's just try this and see how this works, right? And I go to a concierge doctor's office. It's my first time. I'm just showing up,
Mhm.
no appointment even there. I just show up and I meet, one of the receptionists. He was so nice. I asked him if he could pass my information along to the doctor. I created a little packet of information, and he starts going through it. He pulls out my letter, starts looking at it, and he was just really impressed with that it was a handwritten letter. He loved the penmanship, and he even told me he wanted to remain pen pals, which I thought was really cute. And I'm like, I told him under one condition: if he gets me an appointment with the doctor.
I love it. I love it. And it's all coming from a place that you are striving for opportunities to serve the community, right? And I love the creativity behind this, right? And the content of the letter, right, was truly from an authentic place of, I want an opportunity to collaborate and serve the people that you're serving. And what I know, so I want to, I guess basically endorse you for the referral partners that are in your territory, which is, like I said, it's a whole new level of professionalism. So what I know is that the legal financial people in your territory, like the estate and trust attorneys, the aging life care managers, the wealth managers and CPAs and such, that would be so appreciated as a relationship building approach because it's professional.
Well, yeah. And I mean, even just the professions you were just listing, those professions, those people get into the most personal information of the client. CPAs are looking at their books, how they spend their money. Lawyers have the privilege of knowing things that would otherwise be completely confidential. So when it comes to care, especially end of life care, or care as you continue to age, and lose certain abilities, that is, I feel like that's at the same level of standard.
Yeah, it is. And so now to tie your business development approach into how you work with families, right? Because it's so thorough and methodical and attention to detail. What I know by the way that you're developing relationships with referral partners is that that's the same approach that you take, right, when you're having a conversation with the family.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't just show up and drop stuff off. Like, I'm a people person. So I want to know more about you, what drives you, and then connect personally on that level. For example, I I have developed a contact in my network who's a wound care nurse. I know that she is just constantly busy. So I thought, but nurses have to eat. So I thought, well, let me just catch her during her lunch break, take her to lunch, and just have a personal conversation, not even necessarily one about work, but get to know who this individual is, what, makes them, what drives them every day, what challenges them every day, what makes them sad, and how might we, in our just little pocket of this whole ecosystem, be able to help improve her caseload, or because she sees patients all the time who are just dealing with recurring wounds. Part of that is because they might not know how to take care of them, or they might be sad because they're lonely, because they're experiencing loneliness in their life, don't have as many people around. So when I hear things like that, keywords, such as declining or repetitive, things like that, I immediately think about our caregivers and our services, and the way that our services might be able to mitigate some of those things. And those are my talking points, especially when I go into concierge practices, or going into any other medical offices, is how can we help lighten your burden, especially with social workers and case managers? Who's coming in repeatedly, and why, and how might we be able to help?
And it's fantastic. So part of what I teach is the biggest A word that will doom your success progression is to assume, right? And so you are really good, whether it's with a referral partner or a family, of kind of stepping back, and it's all about getting to know them and not assuming that you know what the biggest struggle is, or that you already have the solution, without first, right, taking the time to ask the discovery questions, so that way you can really make sure that you're speaking to the true need of the
Yeah,
referral partner or the family too, if it's during an intake. So it's
correct.
very consultative, and that's the message that I want to convey, is that your approach, your mom's approach, is very consultative. It is not transactional, and that's what families want to look for when considering a home care agency, is the consultative approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare that usually the calls that we get are people who are in some sort of crisis and urgency.
Mhm.
And because, aging is inevitable. We start aging at a very young age, but we it kind of like goes on the back burner until we really need help. Like all of a sudden you fall and now you can't walk around your house by yourself, let alone change your bed sheets or go grocery shopping, things like that. Like in a second, things can change. So I think as a whole, society are not prepared for that. Again, along this line of knowledge is power. Like how do you even expect us to know what we're going to need when that is such an impossibility until it happens?
Mhm.
Like as a young person, I'm so active all the time. It's almost like I take that activity and my me being ambulatory, 100% ambulatory, for granted.
Mhm.
So the majority of our calls that we get are, for example, so and so is being discharged at this time. I live in another state. My sister lives like 3 hours away, and we all of a sudden we become part of their team.
Mhm.
And even with people who might not qualify for our services, or they need additional services, we're there to help. We're not just, oh, you don't need a caregiver. Okay, bye. Like I try to identify what do they need and at least point them in the right direction, if
Mhm.
not to someone in my network,
Mhm.
because I want to just keep feeding into that, and eventually it'll come back to us. So
Absolutely, educating, and it comes down to doing the right thing by families, right?
yeah.
I would absolutely love to see you providing education to the law firms in your area and the wealth management firms,
I
right?
know you want me to get into there.
I do, but it's because of how you share about what you do, right? And it's in a way that people can understand, right? And so I just feel like the knowledge that you have to share, and I know you say that you haven't been doing this very long, but it's how you communicate,
Yeah.
right? That is going to be so valuable to these referral partners, these legal financial firms, any referral partner in the families. Now, so on
Can
that same note, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I wanted to say something along those lines. When you're talking about communication, it makes me think about keywords. And when I think about keywords, I think about how even we use how keywords are can be such a big deal and help
Mhm.
point certain things out. Like for example, with our service, and the platform that we use, everyday feedback coming from the care pros is analyzed, and certain keywords are taken out. Like, for example, if there's a wound that might be developing, or they had a little fall, or they forgot something, these keywords then turn into action, which only leads to addressing the issue, whatever that issue may be. How can we mitigate or, improve on it, or things like that. So even to, financial planners,
Huh?
lawyers, for example, some keywords might be assets and, uh,
Mhm.
money needed, set to be set aside for care, talking about long-term care insurance, which a lot of people, I educated a doctor the other day on long-term care insurance,
Mhm.
a hospitalist that, works with, the older population. So even I didn't even know what long-term care insurance was until I entered, this industry. So things
Mhm.
like that, you learn it and learn it, teach it, learn again, learn from your referral providers and just pass along the information that
It's a
Again,
constant learning cycle. And in what you're sharing right now, it's because of the platform, because of the Honor platform that you guys are on, and this AI that you're sharing with the audience, all of these keywords that are being picked up on, it's allowing for hyper real-time adjustments to the care plan.
yes, because
To improve
every
the
day is
time period.
different. Yeah, because
Mhm.
every day is new, every day is different. And as we all know in this industry, once you have your first fall, the decline starts there. Or the decline can continue on from there. Not
Mhm.
always. I mean, if, you know, we
Yeah,
can
but
part of,
statistically, that's what we'd say in this industry, that age demographic, if support is not put into place, right, the chances of another fall soon and then being a frequent flyer to the hospital, right, really makes things tough. So on the same note of education, something that I find unique about Home Instead and the support, right, from the corporate office is your ability to offer CEUs to referral
oh,
partners.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have some really interesting CEUs actually. One of it, and every month Home Instead offers CEUs. The credits are good for 60 days after the CEU is held. And I find that when I've been talking about CEUs more and more when I go out and I market, because I see like, oh, I see the interest peak when I do talk about them, because I know that so again, from strictly the B2B side,
Mhm.
that I think also provides a lot of value to our referral provider network from Home Instead, that we do offer these, because CEUs are something that people, a lot of my referral providers do need to have every
Mhm.
year. So
And how often are you guys providing these opportunities?
oh, once a month we offer a new CEU, and that's actually on the Home Instead website. So I can provide a link to that if you want to see it. I could even bring up, if you want me to bring up the link right now, I can just list off a couple of the remaining topics. Is that?
I would love to say yes, but I'm not sure how we do that.
Oh, I mean, I can just bring it up in a separate tab and just tell you what they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, because I have it bookmarked. I
And
have
I'll be sure to when I, download this and upload it to YouTube and reshare it, I'll be sure to post those links as well.
Yeah, no problem. So our CEUs are kind of released like webinars, and then you can also apply for credits. So I'll just list them because they're so interesting. We don't always think about all of these different facets. Driving safety for older adults, intimacy and aging, how to support romance across the lifespan. Which is, I love that one. Reducing readmissions, the top 5 ways to incorporate help at home. That's that
Mhm.
helps us. It helps them. Because it helps educate our referral providers on why our service is necessary and
And it's
valuable.
equipping them to have more authentic and robust conversations with the families when they're dealing with them on their end of the spectrum,
Yeah,
before they send them to you guys, the educational topics that you guys are presenting.
yeah. Understanding the legal needs of aging. That's one that's valuable for everybody, client,
Mhm.
family, people helping the family, whether it be their lawyers or whatever. I mean, it's interesting, Sarah, like some things that I've learned from the conversations I've had with my provider network is that sometimes we're in such a way with the economy right now that we are hoarding money and afraid to even spend on ourselves. And so sometimes where money is available for care, it's not even being utilized. And
Mhm.
so I think part of the way that we can tackle that is to bring more awareness to the financial planners
Uh-huh.
about the importance of this in home care. and
Mhm.
it's called aging in place. I mean, people don't really think beyond the surface of like why aging in place is so important. But as someone who has a family member who has memory impairments, it having that familiarity, even if it's a small thing, like a TV show that they watch every day, even having that helps keep them on track to remember to do other things, like
Mhm.
maintain their personal hygiene, keep taking their medication, feeding themselves.
Mhm.
So it all plays a part.
100% the structure behind it. I'm curious, I'm not sure if you know the answer to this right now, but we can certainly find out for the audience. So we're talking about these CEUs
Yes.
being available for referral partners, right?
Mhm.
And this is across the country. Are family members able to attend these webinars, even if like they don't need the CEU, but perhaps they want the education?
I mean, anyone can go onto our website right now and register to view our previously recorded webinars. And anyone who needs to get credits for their job can also apply for the credits for those that are still available. But
Okay.
we have everything archived. Again, it's public on our website. I'm not logged into anything to see these. So
Mhm.
in essence, anyone could access these webinars.
Well,
I
I will
mean,
be sure to share that link because I can see the value with the topics that you listed. It's not just valuable to referral partners, it's super valuable to these family members.
oh yeah, I mean, you and I have talked about, the plans that I have for helping spread more awareness and education just about this stage of life, which
Mhm.
people, in my generation and around my age, like, why would we be thinking about this unless it's affecting us personally? You know what I mean? If and in 10, 15 years that we will be dealing with this. So I want to be as ready as I can. I mean, I know that my mom has already taken care of, she knows how she wants to deal with her
Uh-huh.
with that part of her life. But I also want to be, as prepared as possible and have all the knowledge that I need to support her and
Yes,
my
and
family.
there needs to be more conversations, right, between the family members. We are getting close to the end, so I want to make sure that you share with the audience, and again, I'll be sure to post this as well. Anybody that's listening or anybody that watches the recording, if they say, I really want to talk more with Chloe, whether it's a family that needs some guidance or a referral partner
Oh
in your
yeah.
territory, how can they contact you?
I mean, they can contact me through email or through my email would be best, or by calling our office.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, do you want me to list that
Yes,
out?
please.
Okay,
You have
okay,
to
cool.
give your email address.
No, it's fine. Our office number is 773-784-4024. And
Mhm.
my email is Chloe, Chloe, dot May, Mae, at homeinstead.com.
Wonderful, thank you. And again, I'll make sure that I post that information. Real quick, what
Yes.
areas? So here's the benefit to you being with Homestead is that even if somebody that is not particularly in your operating territory, they can still reach out to you and you can direct them to a location where their
Okay.
need might be. But what part of the country does your Homestead location serve?
My home instead location serves the city of Chicago.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
we serve parts of the city of Chicago on the north side and the south side.
Wonderful. Well,
Mhm.
Chloe, it has been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you. And I opened by saying how impressed, but I am even more impressed with you now, the way that you explained everything for the audience. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Sarah.
much for being my guest today.
No, it was really an honor to be your guest, and I really do appreciate uh, receiving all the education that you've given me. I mean, I guess it helps speak to you and your work, because I kind of entered this role not having done formal sales and marketing in this way, in such a structured way. And I think with your guidance, you've really helped me be able to ramp up and feel more confident in this role. So thank you
Oh
for
my
everything that
gosh,
you've
thank
done.
you. And you know what? At the end of the day, what it's about, right? Yes, marketing, business development. Every industry has our business developers, right?
Right.
You have to find the people to be able to provide the services to. But it's all about redefining the way that we as senior care professionals are serving referral partners and families, right? So it's coming from a place of wanting to serve, not a place of, okay, transactional, that's part of it, right? Because you have to stay in business so you can keep serving people.
Correct.
But it's about, again, taking this consultative approach. And I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I'd love to be on again. So anytime.
Anytime.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, bye.